You've been showing up. 6 a.m. treadmill, 40 minutes, 3 times a week, sometimes 4. And the weight? Still there. Not just still there, it might actually be more. There's a reason for that. And once you understand it, you'll never look at cardio the same way again. You are the woman who doesn't make excuses. The alarm goes off at 5:58, you don't hit snooze, you pull on the same leggings, lace up the same shoes, and you go before the kids wake up, before work starts, before the day takes over. 40 minutes on the treadmill, steady pace, enough to sweat, enough to feel like you earned it. You've been doing this for months. And yet, you step on the scale and the number barely moves, or it moves and comes back. You're tired in a way that sleep doesn't fix. You're doing everything right, and the body is responding like you're doing nothing at all. You are not failing the effort. The effort is failing you because it's triggering the wrong response. And to understand why, you need to understand what your body is doing in the hour after that run ends. You finish the treadmill, you feel accomplished. Heart rate coming down, slight breathlessness fading, maybe a protein shake, back to normal. What you can't feel is what's happening in your bloodstream. Cortisol just spiked. That's not unusual. Cortisol rises during exercise. What matters is what happens next. In a body with balanced hormones and low baseline stress, cortisol drops back down quickly. No problem. But in a body that's already running high cortisol from work, from sleep deprivation, from years of dieting, that spike doesn't come down as fast. And elevated cortisol does one thing extremely well. It tells the body to store fat, specifically in the abdomen. So the very thing you're doing to lose weight is triggering the biological signal that defends it. The cardio isn't the enemy. The hormonal environment you're doing it in, that's the problem. Because this is only half the mechanism. The other half is what chronic cardio does over time, and it's the part most fitness advice never mentions. You've been consistent for months. The sessions pile up, the commitment is real, but so is the fatigue that's settled into your bones. You're not just tired after workouts, you're tired before them. You push through anyway because stopping feels like quitting. Here's what's actually accumulating alongside the miles. Chronic elevated cortisol, which suppresses thyroid function, which slows metabolism, which signals the body to preserve fat, not release it. The more consistent you are, the more consistently the body defends against the loss. You are working against a system that gets stronger every time you try harder. This isn't about fitness level. This is about a hormonal switch that chronic cardio is flipping in exactly the wrong direction. And here's where it gets important, because the same cortisol spike that's blocking fat loss is also doing something else, something most people in this situation have never connected. You are exhausted, frustrated, and still showing up. You've cut the food, you've added the cardio, you've done the things. All of them. And somewhere underneath the effort, there's a quiet voice saying, what if none of this is the actual problem? That voice is right. Chronic cortisol doesn't just affect fat storage at the hormonal level, it affects how cells process energy, reducing the efficiency of mitochondrial function, depleting the compounds cells need to convert fuel properly, which means the body is simultaneously storing more and processing less. Research into cellular energy support, specifically compounds that influence how mitochondria function under hormonal stress, is examining whether this layer can be addressed independently of exercise or diet. Most women doing cardio 5 times a week have never heard that this layer exists. The women who finally start seeing results aren't necessarily doing more, they're addressing something different. What that looks like is in the description. The problem was never your commitment. It was never the cardio. It was the layer underneath that the cardio never reached, which changes the only question that actually matters right now. You are still the woman who shows up. That hasn't changed. What changes now is what you're showing up for. Not to punish the body into submission, not to earn the right to eat, not to keep doing the same thing that's been flipping the wrong switch. The hardest part of this isn't changing the exercise. It's letting go of the belief that more effort means more results, when the biology is telling you something different. The cortisol switch has been on. Now you know where it is. What you do with that information is up to you. If you want to go deeper, there's more on this channel, and what I've found most useful for addressing the cellular layer is in the description.